Hello, lovelies. I hope you guys are having a wonderful Wednesday. And yes, I love alliteration. So a lot of my stuff, you'll find that present. Obviously, today we are on Simple Start, the home. So how'd you guys do? How was the brain dump last week? So we did the intro last week. I just covered a few things, my heart behind this program. And your one assignment was to do a 10-minute brain dump. And if you went longer, great. But at least getting 10 minutes by yourself in silence to get all of the chatter out of your mind and put it down on paper. Now, the way I do a brain dump, I got out my grocery list stuff. I had my notes for Simple Start. This is also my essential oil notebook that, you know, it's got 3 different dividers in it. So I was going back and forth with some of that. I've just got a normal notebook and I had my planner. So I was kind of trying to be organized about the brain dump, but if you just put it all on one piece of paper, that's great too. I hope it went well. Let me know in the comments how it did for you, or message me if you don't want that broadcast. I understand that too. But on that note, we will be doing this every week. I'm going to give you specific kind of brain dump assignment guidelines, I guess, for you. But I encourage you then to get sorry, I'll try to stop that, a notebook and a planner. Ideally, both, and maybe 2 or 3 notebooks. It kind of depends. Again, know yourself and know where you're at. This was super cheap but pretty at Walmart. So get some. So maybe you'll do brain dump and lists in one notebook, and maybe you'll do dreams and home projects or some other crafting ideas or something that's more inspirational in another notebook. Feel free to divide them as you like, label them, and have them be pretty. Like, if we're going to go pick something up intentionally or matching, I know some of you, you're not so much about looks as maybe how they're all a composition notebook. I love composition notebooks. I love science. So for me, this is a happy place, seeing a composition notebook. I loved science in high school. So I do love it. So if you had all different colors of these labeled, that's great. Do what speaks to you in that. And that's beautiful and wonderful because you're beautiful and wonderful. Fun fact, kindness is my word this year. So here we go, right? All kindness first, cultivate kindness. I was like, this is the perfect notebook for me. I can see it all the time as I grab to do my brain dump. So yes, I hope that went well. Next, okay, brain dump this week. I'm just gonna, since we're talking about that, is going to be on, and a lot of them will follow this similar pattern. So tendencies, okay, / habits for good and bad. All right, I put it on the same page on I didn't get to a ton as my time ran out, but I did healthy habits and unhealthy habits, okay? You don't have to write good and bad if that triggers for you. Healthy, unhealthy, things we want to change. Habits I want to change, like spin it in a way that gets you on a more positive mindset, okay? That's always a good thing, is to keep things on the action and not pulling back, like negative. Don't put a lot of stop doing this, don't do that. Like say, I want to start doing, X, Y, Z, things like that. So brain dump for this week, thinking about the home, okay? Whoo. Ladies, we're going to leave your guilt and shame at the door. Take it out of the house, literally. Get it out, okay? If you have to write about this specifically, at least for me, this is a very triggering topic. If my husband and I were to ever fight, 98% of the time, it was about the mess I had made, the piles and the things I didn't get to, or if I focused on one room, I didn't come back down to the kitchen. It can be a very triggering thing and a very much a thing that you feel like a failure. Like you own the failure of your home not staying tidy. And I'm telling you right now, we're taking that out. Take it out with the trash, the guilt, the shame, all of it. Okay, we're starting anew and we're gonna start simply, okay? So, and is your success or failure, is that rooted in pain or control? So I just want you to think about the big picture of things, your motivation behind the home staying clean? Are you doing it for yourself? Are you doing it because you just feel guilty about your husband all the time? Are you doing it, to the glory of the Lord? Are you bringing God into cleaning your home and keeping your home tidy? And then expectations along with all of that, right? For internal or external expectations on you, and that being a burden on yourself. Okay, so there's a lot there. So with the brain dump, just think about those things. I'll write them down and I'll put them in a comment here, and then YouTube, it's in the description. Whew, that's a lot. And that's like, some of you might be already like, whoo, Adri, I know, introspection. It's hard. Be honest with yourself. Okay. No lying to yourself. We're not going to take out the guilt and shame and then start lying to ourselves. No, because that'll leave you guilty. Okay. Because you're lying to yourself. Don't lie to yourself. Be honest with where you're at though. Know where you're at. Okay. I can't say this enough. Know where you're at. If you're immediately postpartum, if you've just lost a loved one, if you lost, it was a hard year last year. Husband lost their job. Like you're in a traumatic state still. Be honest with yourself and don't bite off more than you can chew, or even bite off as much as you can when you're not grieving the death of a loved one, right? We have to manage those expectations of ourselves and be honest with where you're at. Okay. If you need to set aside more time to grieve and journal, or go to sleep earlier and all those things, and you're not getting to as much, I'm proud of you. Great job. You're knowing where you're at and you're taking yourself seriously and the stage of life you're in seriously. It's only a season. Okay, I speak from experience. I've lost my mother 4 years ago. I've had 2 miscarriages, I've had 3 babies. Whew. It's hard stuff. It's only a season. Okay, and try to enjoy the season you're in for what is there in front of you. Trying to enjoy the little ones are hard. Newborns are hard, but also trying to enjoy the newborn while they're there, because they're gone pretty quickly as well. And ask for help. Okay. Ask for help. Know where you're at. Ask for help. Okay. So that's all the intro. Woohoo! Our verse this week, couple verses. Philippians. This is convicting, just warning you right now. Philippians 2:14-16. Do all things without grumbling or disputing, that you may be blameless and innocent children of God, without blemish in the midst of a crooked and twisted generation, among whom you shine as lights in the world, holding fast to the word of life, so that in the day of Christ I may be proud that I did not run in vain or labor in vain. So that was ESV. Another, what's it called? Translation also can use the word complaining or arguing, right? Do all things about complaining or arguing. That's the one I learned it in anyway. And that's a good one to have. A friend of mine used to say that she had it by her sink, because that was the one task she really didn't like doing, was dishes. And they're like never ending, right? So she literally printed off the beginning of that verse. Do all things without grumbling or disputing, so that you may be blameless, innocent children of God, without blemish in the midst of a crooked and a twisted generation. You might even just put that very first part. If it's the one thing like you hate, I try not to use the H word. If you really don't like the laundry, maybe that's a good one to have. Even put up pretty, right? Have a friend calligraphy it or something, but put it up and remind yourself to check your heart that I can do this for the glory of the Lord. I can run I can be proud that I did not run in vain or labor in vain. We're not laboring in vain, ladies. Doing the laundry for our blessed little children. Wow. I have children to do laundry for. Wow. I have a whole load here of laundry for them, and they still have stuff in their drawers. What a blessing. And I'm going to do this for the glory of the Lord. So trying to get that mindset, check yourself a little bit, because a lot of times we get in that mood and then we're just rage cleaning or other stuff. Trying to remember what the blessings are in the midst of what we're doing I have a dishwasher. Praise God, I can put stuff in there and then let the machine wash it. I'm very blessed to do that. Very blessed. Okay. So, simple start for the home. First one. I know that was a lot of little like tips and things to get your mind on track here, but here's the first simple start. Is your main area stay clean and tidy. All right. I didn't say the whole house. I said your main areas. And for me, it's my master bedroom and the great room. Now, some of you might not have a great room. If not, then I say the kitchen. Okay. Can you keep those two areas, your master bedroom and your kitchen, clean and tidy this week? Okay, that's my assignment for you. This is our simple start, okay? Yeah, there's chaos possibly everywhere else. It's post-Christmas and starting a new year, getting back in the routine. I understand that there's a lot of things going on, but for you, the mom, the wife, the single woman, keep your kitchen and your master bedroom clean and tidy. Now, why am I separating clean and tidy? I feel like they're different, okay? So for me, tidying is keeping things in its place, but that doesn't mean that I vacuumed, right? Vacuuming, mopping, dusting, scrubbing the toilets, those are cleaning things, all right? Tidying is picking up the toys, folding the blankets back up, putting it back in its bin, straightening up the pillows, things like that. Those are tidying things. Going through the mail and immediately dealing with it, that's tidying stuff. So you're not having piles around your house. Who else is a piler? Did y'all see my desk story yesterday? I guess yesterday or the day before was National Clean Off Your Desk Day. I was like, oh, I'm convicted. Because I was like, I don't know if I was waiting for this week to like do it with you guys or what. But since Christmas, like it's gotten out of control and I have several piles on there. And it's not a functioning desk. And it's like stuff to sell on Facebook Marketplace. And it's like, okay, let's not have piles of things in our master bedroom. Because I don't know if you guys are like me. Do you get a magazine in or a letter from somebody or more like an organization, I guess, or it's just something that you want to get to, but you don't want to get to right then. So you put it in a pile and then you stick it on your desk. Anyone else? Yeah, I do that. And 9.999 times out of 10, I don't ever get to it. So for me, that's been a big help, is to keep my desk and my things from piling up. Is I'm going to look at it right then. Is this useful? Is it not? Do I want to keep this one page and put it in a 3-ring binder? Which I do have several of those that I like. Oh, I really like this thing that's like in paper, which is kind of nice. I rip it out and I put it in one of those sleeves and it goes in my notebook of like encouraging quotes or doTERRA stuff or whatever it is. And then it's dealt with. I throw the entire rest of the thing in the recycling and it's done. I don't have to wait for it for later. And then guess what doesn't build up in me? The guilt. The guilt that now my husband has to see a pile that I've started that I want to get to and I think is important, but it wasn't important for right there and right then. If it's not important for right then and there, odds are it's not important at all to you, at least not right now in your life. Things will come back around. It's okay to just let it go, okay? I know it's just a Disney song, but it's not just a Disney song, okay? So let's see. Oh, beware of the cleanliness idol. For me, when I start getting back into a really intentional cleaning and tidying routine, I get frustrated with any little mess that happens. Anyone else like that? Okay, be careful that you're not now elevating your tidy bedroom or your tidy, great room or whatever it is above the hearts and minds of your children and your spouse. Hey, what we have is a gift from God. and we are to be good stewards of it. But what is also a wonderful gift from God, and more important than the things we have, is our children. All right, so take that deep breath. And when they want to interrupt you while you're trying to get to the dishes before XYZ is happening, take that deep breath, look them in their precious little eyes, and stop what you're doing and address their little hearts, okay? Their hearts are more important than the home. I'm going to say that again. Your children's hearts are more important than the home and the house and the state of the house. So again, know where you're at. Obviously, if you're breastfeeding and you're trying to deal with all of that, the kitchen might not get as tidy as you want it. Once again, ask for help. When Adelaide was first born, third child, hardest child by far, very whiny and all the things. Bad tongue tie. We couldn't get it addressed though until she was 8 days old. So cracked and bleeding initially, but even after we got it handled, she just would scream and be fussy, and just, you needed to hold her. But even then she was still fussy, and then we'd set her down, and even more, it was so hard. And my husband was struggling, and I'm like, babe, we sat down and I asked him, what's your top 3 things for the house? He said that there's food I can eat, and whether that's we need to get more takeout, or we need to get more things like lasagna and easy heat up meals or whatever, but there's food for dinner. He didn't put every meal on me, but he said food for dinner. Food's ready on the table for dinner because he works all day. And then his sexual needs are met. However that looks. It got a little creative, not gonna lie. Not sinful, but creative. And yes, I had permission to share this. And the third thing was, what was the third thing? Those were the only 2 things. And I was like, those are your only expectations? Because I had all the guilt and shame for the whole house, right? Everything's in disarray. Clothes were getting washed, but they're just getting they were literally piles everywhere of clean clothes or dirty clothes, and just toys were everywhere. We didn't have the system going. And I just had this burden of guilt on me because I was kind of winning before Adelaide came along, and then it all went to pot. And so what I asked from him was, I need you to do the dishes every day. I can handle dinner. I can handle breakfast and lunch and snacks for the kids, if we shop well. But I need your help with dishes. That became his chore for 9 months. Gosh, longer, probably over a year. My husband did the dishes for me because we had an extremely fussy and difficult third child. And that's what teamwork's about, ladies and gentlemen. We are one, and we had that conversation. And since then, I've resumed doing the dishes and all the other cleaning and tidying for the most part around the house. But he came in when I needed the help because we communicated well. We don't always, but we made sure to do it in that point where we were both really struggling. Our expectations we thought of each other were just a mess, and we were trying to not blame each other for things, but there was some of that being thrown around too. So know where you're at and keep the communication open with your husband, your spouse, your roommates, if you're single, on what you guys want. And if one of you's lost a loved one, or had a baby, or there's so many different things that we go through as humans. But if you're not sharing how you're struggling, nobody can come in and support you with that, because we're supposed to bear each other's burdens. So I encourage you to do that. So just going to review my notes here a little bit. For me, I think it really helps set the mood for the day. If I can't get to the dishes all day long, everything going on, always try to get to the dishes and get them all clean. There's nothing in the sink when you go to bed. Because when you wake up in the morning, if you have a dishwasher, load it up and run it, right? So in the morning, nothing's on the counter, nothing's in the sink, okay? You can come get your coffee or tea or, water, whatever you want in the morning. and there's not an immediate thing you have to get done right there. It's not staring you in the face, right? It's either stacked up on the counter clean, ready to get put away, dry because it's been drying all night. Again, in the dishwasher, it's dry, it's ready to go. So then that can be a part of your morning routine, which we're going to be addressing a morning routine, simple start, later on in one of these in the program. So go to bed, keeping that kitchen tidy, go to bed with all the dishes done. Okay. I guarantee you, even if you're going to stay up a little bit later, to do it before you go to bed. Now, for me personally, I like to get it done before I go to enjoy my evening. Okay. Sometimes I wait. I'm like, I just need a break after I get the kids all to bed. There's all the bedtime and whatnot. And I'll sit down, maybe I'll watch a show or I'll do something else, or I did a puzzle recently or color, or sometimes I get to my Bible study in the evening. And then literally it's right before bed, I do the dishes. That doesn't give me the most, I feel like, out of my evening, but I'm still trying to be mature and get it done. So I encourage you before you sit down, because like an object in motion stays in motion, right? So before you go to rest, what works best for me is to just, okay, I'm going to do all the dishes, put on some music. It's always fun, right? Or put on your show right then. If you can watch a show and do your dishes or something like that, or an encouraging podcast, something to end the day with peacefully so that it doesn't affect your sleep, okay? And do your dishes. All right. Don't want to start that morning with dirty, gunky work staring you in the face. Okay. All right. So master bedroom, I kind of had touched on this a little bit, but I wanted to share another story with you guys because I think that's how we identify with one another better than just do this, do that, and don't whatever. So I was a part of a home church community a few years ago, and they were lovely, wonderful ladies who were all very mature and just trying to live life like 10 out of 10 and everything. And the older ladies were teaching us younger gals, as Titus 2 says, teach what is good. And I was at one of the gals' houses, and we were going over being a good helpmeet for your husband. Okay. And one of the things she said is every morning you make your bed, and while you're making your bed, you pray for your husband. And I was like, oh, that's such a great idea. But I just felt like, and I can't remember if I even said something or not, but I just wanted to cry, because while that's a great idea to be purposeful about praying for your husband, because I want to be praying for my husband and I love him and it's important to do that. And it's a good thing to have your bed made. Is it going to make or break anything? No, but it's a good thing to, again, walk into a room and everything's made. It helps with the mind clutter. But I just wanted to cry because I had little Archer. He was an infant. And my mom had just died like 8 months before that. And I didn't realize how much the grief was affecting my daily life, how much I was angry. I was grief angry. I would snap at the kids or yell at them or yell at like Adrian in a way that was emotion filled and grief filled. And this simple thing of her, encouraging us, a good thing to do to make the bed every day was like, I can't do this thing. Felt like a huge failure, like a huge, what is wrong with me? Adri, we're talking about making your bed. That's like the easiest thing to do. It benefits your husband, shows him you care, you're going to be praying for him. It'll help your own brain space to feel a little bit more under control. Because while I did feel it out of control, it was real to me. I was like, I tried sometimes, and there was just so many other things pulling at my heart and at my mind. And again, when you have that little one with the whole breastfeeding journey, he was a lot better than Adelaide was. But it was not going to happen. So for you today, if it's not going to happen, you want to be mature. but you feel like you're failing at every turn, it's okay. There's grace for you, my friend. There's grace in this season of hardship. There's grace in this season of wanting to do better, but you can't get there yet. Take a deep breath. Okay. And this was also at a time where I was trying to deal with the whole house. I hadn't prioritized my bedroom and the great room. When a different gal with the same group encouraged us in that way for the home, I was like, now that I can get behind. Because it wasn't take care of the entire house, clean all the bathrooms still weekly, still do all your towels and the sheets and that, because when the list is full, it's long. It's a long list to take care of your whole home. But when the list is short, especially in times of trauma and grief and need, you can accomplish that. And your expectations aren't beyond your capacity. Just reading the notes a little bit. So, yeah. So when you look in the mirror, don't let failure be the only thing you see. That's my encouragement for you there. I hope if you just transition to not forgetting the whole house, but not putting it as a top priority for everything to be in its place all the time. Start with the great room, kitchen, and your bedroom, and keep that up all week. When you've got those great systems down for those two areas, I put away the dishes when I feed the kids breakfast, and then I go in my room when I go to put on my clothes, and I make my bed, then I get ready for my day, makeup or not, and then I come out and we start school. You can find these different rhythms when you start smaller. And when you get those good rhythms going, those good habits forming, it's easy. And you don't have to think about it as much. There's more space in your brain to think about some other things. And then there's a way that you can add on to that. Okay, now and then I switch to something else. And then we're going to address, we're going to add in the loft. We're going to add in, sometimes then you have to totally declutter something and, get stuff out of the house and find bins and all the things. That's okay. Then you can add in that one next thing. Don't bite off more than you can chew though, okay? All right. Second, so that was just the first one. So first one, your bedroom and the kitchen. Okay, second start for this week is to wake up early. Okay? You're like, what? Yes, friends, set your alarm. Wake up, if you have children, before your kids. That simple act, again, know where you're at. Maybe you need to go to bed earlier. Maybe, like me, you like to stay up, 10, sometimes 11 o'clock because you want to watch a show, you want to play your games, you want to just enjoy the quiet house. That is important. But if you're waking up, sleeping in to where your kids are already awake and they're kind of messing around and then they're fighting and then you wake up to an argument with your children, is that how you're going to start the day the best? I think not. Okay. For me, I operate the best at 6 a.m. wake-ups. I don't love it, but that's where I operate the best. So we don't set our alarms for the weekends, but during the weekdays, trying to get up out of bed and get up. No snoozing. No snoozing. It is not helpful. There's lots of studies and lots of articles and things about that. Snoozing is not helpful. Set your alarm for the time you want to get your butt out of bed and get your butt out of bed. Okay? Nobody's going to do it for you. Sure, you can pray about it, but in my experience, I've never heard of anybody miraculously being levitated from their bed and escorted into the living room with coffee made. Okay? You can do this. Maybe it's 7 o'clock for you. Maybe, or maybe it's okay. You do okay when you get up with your children. Know yourself, be honest with yourself and know where you're at so that you can wake up, either get a coffee or get your morning routine done, workout in maybe, and you can be intentional about your day when it starts. Because if I sleep in, a lot of times I'm like, and the days run away with every good intention I ever had for it. And then I feel like I'm behind all day. Again, like the dishes in the sink, you don't want to wake up feeling like you've already failed. Ugh, it's awful. Don't do that to yourself, okay? And I get it. Sometimes my son's up at 5:30, and I'm like, I'm coming out, but okay, this isn't how I wanted to start it. We're going to take what we have and we're going to go. But I'm still up at a time that is intentional for me, and that still is a lot better in my heart and mind than waiting for something else. I'll wake up with him screaming or something. Thank you. Okay. That's it. That's the second one. Okay. Third one. You ready? Okay. I want this to sound funny. Okay. Schedule weekly and nightly priorities. Okay. So let me break that down. For me, I really like the planner. I already said, ideally you have a planner that you have. So mine, it's a big one. I thought maybe it would do better for school, but anyway, I'm not going to get as big next time. It's broken down. Every week is the double page layout, right? So whatever works you feel like will work for you. And then it also has a monthly page that I can get all the big stuff down, and then a weekly page. So in my to-do part, I wrote down real quick my top priorities for weekly cleaning. And it's not much. So if you're immediately postpartum or something like that, you just want to take those first 2 simple starts and run with it, great. Okay, do that. And don't add on this third one. This third one, for people who have a little bit more under control, is getting on paper and getting in your mind what your actual cleaning things are for the week. So for us, it's bathrooms, laundry, vacuuming is like our main ones. Aside from I already said kitchen, that's already there. I don't have to write it down because I'm on that all day long, right? On it all day long. So those are the main things for us, right? So we have downstairs dust and vacuum on Mondays, upstairs dust and vacuum on Tuesdays, and you can't vacuum without tidying. So the kids usually get a really good, okay, what's working with their toys and what's not. And I have lots of little bins that we can say, okay, you've not been playing with this for a while. It goes in a bin and goes into the guest room. And then we can switch them out easier. Okay, you're cleaning up Mario, Archer, clean up your Mario. We'll get out your Legos and we'll swap. That way it's not a lot for me to pick up. It's not a lot for him to pick up. And we're both winning. So that's just a little something that's working for us, for you moms out there. Idea. Then Wednesday's wash day. Hello, wash day. Whoop, whoop. So I've done a lot already. So this is all the clothes day. So again, know what works for you guys. I know some moms who likes to, before they go to start their homeschooling stuff, they'll put in a load of laundry, and then at lunchtime they switch it, and then they put it away in the afternoon. That's just part of their daily routine. I don't like doing laundry every day of the week. So I do all the clothes on Wednesday. All right. And I end with my more delicate clothes that need hung up, athletic wear and stuff. Then they dry all night. And then Thursdays, we put the clothes all away. And yes, I need a whole day for clothes putting away because it's one of the things I'm the worst at. And then Fridays is bathrooms and wash towels. And then sheets if they need it. We don't do sheets every week. Just being honest. We don't. So that's if you break it down like that, it doesn't seem like a lot. Now I didn't add in mopping. That's more of a monthly thing. But if you're just hanging on by a thread, you don't add in mopping. And I sweep in here almost after every meal because my kids are messy. So I don't put that on the list of things to do because it just has to get done constantly. and it gets done as soon as we're done with the meal, ideally. Sometimes we miss a meal. But then it's not this huge thing. So if you schedule it out weekly, like what do you want to do during the week? Then it's like, oh, you don't go, oh, I still have to do the bathroom. Oh, when was the last time I did, oh, you would need your laundry done? Like, it doesn't have to be color coded. It doesn't have to be all these things. What's your like one chore for the day? Can you handle one chore for the day? I think you can. I know you can. You can do it. And if it's done in a way that works for you in your mind, maybe you like the one load of laundry thing to do a day. Great. Run with that. You probably will need to do it, get it done and put it away all in that day. Because if you're like me, it'll just keep piling. It's clean, it's clean, it's clean. And yes, I have a pile of clean clothes in the laundry room as we speak. We put some away on Tuesday because we missed last week. Things are always in flux. And that's okay. If it's not working, here, I wrote this down. Hang on. This is a good one. Dun, 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 dun. Wait for it. Wait for it. Do not tell yourself that this time it will be perfect. No. Learn from before. Take what works. Leave what doesn't. We can get stuck in the how I learned it mindset. If it doesn't work for you in the way you learned it, leave it behind. Put it out with the trash. Try something new and see how that goes. Nothing's set in stone here, you guys. If your mom taught you a certain way and it doesn't work for you that way, do it your own way. It's not an insult to her. If she takes it personally, have a loving conversation about it. It's nothing personal. We all are different. We're all beautifully different. That should be celebrated. I celebrate it in you. I hope you're celebrating it in me. All right? So if it's not working, try something new. Do it again. It'll get better as long as you're not sticking and holding fast to things that are broken. Let it go. Let's move forward. All right? Step in to your beautiful reality. Okay, make it your own. Own it. That is all I have for you. Let's see, what else did I have? A couple things here, wrapping up. A note about tidiness. I've had to grow in this a lot, especially in the last 5-6 years. I really liked the Tidying Up with Marie Kondo series on Netflix. I have both of her books that helped to spark my desire to want to tidy versus just cleaning. Because I'm great at cleaning, but I'm not always the greatest at tidying and keeping things organized in a functional way that works. Bins are important. Not having anything on the floor is important. Even a bin of, what's it called? Blankets. If a bin of blankets is on your floor, that's not going to be as tidy looking as if it was up on like an end table or something. Nothing belongs on the floor except furniture. So there's a little tip for you. Okay, not from me, but I don't remember where I learned that. Also, tidying is a way of life. We are always trying to take those extra steps to fully put it away or throw it away. And that one's hard for me. I'm like, oh, I'll set it here and then I'll deal with it as I go upstairs or whatever. And like, that's fine if you have a system that works. It's in a cute bin or something, or you can have your kids come and get it if they're old enough. That's fine. But what I'm talking about isn't just the one-off, like these things need to go upstairs as I head up there next, because I'll do that in a minute and I need to finish the dishes. That's fine. What I'm talking about is, oh, I want to get to this, and I already addressed this. I'll get to this, I'll put this over here, and I'll get, now we're piling all over the house, in the bathroom, in the closet, I need to sew this, and this will go here, and that will go there, and it's like, now everything's just a mess of piles. Yes, they had intention on that first set down, but it's just clutter at this point. So beware the clutter. Take those extra steps to put the thing away. You'll be glad you did. Okay, on that note, I love you all so much. That's it. Those are your 3 steps. 2, if you're in a really difficult season right now, know where you're at, journal, make sure you do your brain dump as well this week. I'll put those tips on the kind of the ideas to circle in your mind here in the comments. So love you all so much. Bye. Mwah.